With more and more of the reports of like war crimes coming out from the Russian military within Ukraine, certain heads of state have come out and said that Russia is engaging in genocide. Would you guys agree that Russia is committing genocide, or is it too early to say yet?
I like to refer to genocide strictly in the legal sense. So if it like rises to, what would be considered a genocide, then maybe. I don't know if war crimes are always necessarily considered genocidal or not. Kind of like peripheral to this, one thing that's a little bit scary is it seems like we've kind of brought down the hammer on Russia almost in as many ways as we can. And if Russia truly is successful in breaking off completely from relying on Western trade, and they have their own kind of, like Asian agreements and agreements with China, and they're able to sell their oil and everything as well as they can, I don't know if there's much we can do to Russia at that point. Like, say they did genocide people, or say they did commit war crimes, which it seems like at this point it's pretty undeniable. I don't know like what's left for us to do at that point. Like, I don't know what sanctions we could place on them, or what kind of harm. We're never invading or bombing them or doing anything like that. So.
I would say no one likes to exaggerate more than Trump in any situation, and he's obviously calling this genocide. I do concede the notion that there are war crimes happening, absolutely, and it is really, really tragic to see what's happening in some of these cities, especially people that chose not to be refugees, chose not to leave. And I think there will have to be international courts that will take place and will actually acknowledge what happens when the conflict ends, depending on what actually happens within the nation. But like Destiny said, if they do proceed and win this war, and after removing, as we saw today, I believe Russia cut off gas to Bulgaria and to Poland. It's so funny how I see the article that they are bullying the nations by their sanctions against them, but when we do it to them, it's about democracy and freedom. And so I think we're seeing an iron curtain possibly, or I hope not, rise again between the East and the West. And this may, like if it rises, just like we saw through the conflict of many, many decades in the 90s, you saw the 90s, 80s, 70s, etc., in the end, they may be able to do what they want. And the atrocities of the USSR, are just innumerable. And they're horrifying what has actually happened. And so, God forbid we get to that point, and let's hope it doesn't get there.
All right, thank you.